Texas Senate leadership is moving to restore felony punishment if somebody's caught voting illegally.
It could also reduce the proof needed for prosecution of a suspected voting fraud incident. Fox 4's Sean Rabb listened in on some debate at the State Senate Affairs Committee today. Sean.
Yeah, the bill's Republican author, State Senator Brian Hughes, says Senate Bill 2 is simply a clarification, a fix of something that was in the law that changed 2 years ago that had been there almost 50 years. But Democrats and opponents say this is a change, and they call it a change for the worst.
And I'm concerned about the change.
Debate over Senate Bill 2, which would once again make the penalty for illegal voting a felony.
2021, the major voting bill was SB 1. And it reduced the penalties for illegal voting from a second-degree felony to a misdemeanor, but made voting more difficult in a number of ways.
A felony punishable by up to 20 years in prison and a $10,000 fine, more than convictions for aggravated assault, deadly conduct, or terroristic threat.
Would you think that a person who made an honest mistake should have that more severe punishment in comparison to the punishment for aggravated assault, terroristic threats?
I think there would be judicial discretion in the case of something like that, but I don't feel that the penalty is too severe.
The current bill, debated before the Senate State Affairs Committee, SB 2, changes language in the law so that if a person knows of a particular circumstance that could make them not eligible to vote, and they do, they could face charges.
If you want to go after election fraud, go after the criminals, the few that there are. But please don't criminalize honest mistakes.
It is a sea change in the law that would expose countless innocent Texans to felony prosecution for simple mistakes. Instead of one innocent victim like Crystal Mason, there could be hundreds, even thousands.
Crystal Mason is the Tarrant County woman who was sentenced to 5 years in prison for illegal voting in 2016. Mason used a provisional ballot while she was on supervised release from a federal conviction and maintained she didn't know she was not eligible to vote. Her appeal is pending.
When she voted that provisional ballot, she signed a statement that said, I have not been convicted of a felony or I have completed my terms. She had not completed those, and she was convicted of a felony. So, again, that's not the best example, but y'all keep bringing it up. So I would just encourage folks to look at that case and see if that's really the poster child. We believe it's a great example for why we need this bill passed.
So the Senate Bill 2, got out of committee today, 7-3 the vote. It moves forward to the full Senate for a vote. There are about a half dozen similar measures that have been filed this session, and this particular effort to increase the penalty back to a felony again is on the legislative priority list of Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick.